your most powerful ability in the game acquired, the run is going to get quite a bit more crazy very soon.
Absolutely massive, Toadette. Grips just took a few deaths getting sent back to that safety station.
I heard you guys like lore, right? Well, we have go fast left, we have go fast up with enemy, we have go fast down, and now we have go fast up without enemy. Charge jump acquired.
All right, welcome back, friends and folks, to another All Skills tournament here at the Ori and the Blind Forest community in our 2022 match. So here we're going to be featuring off two runners, Primorix versus Daroka, in the round of 16 that we see near the bottom of that bracket display that we currently have on screen. And both of these runners are exceptional. Primorix is absolutely going to be one of the top runners of the tournament, somebody to watch out for, but Daroka is one of the runners where their seeding is kind of a misnomer, where they have made great strides, right? We see their PBs at 32-20. With that being said, my screen name is Covert Muffin, and on commentary, I am going to be joined by none other than Ren. Ren, how are you, my friend?
What's up, everyone? Doing pretty good. Can't wait to see this race, as you mentioned. Daroka has been improving incredibly fast. We just got word from our track actually that he got a 31.59 last week.
Wow.
So yeah, I can't wait to see. Like Primorix is definitely favored to win this, but I cannot wait to see Daroka's improvement, and yeah, hopefully we'll still get a close one, because anything can happen in this category.
Oh, indeed it can. That being said, Primorix, right, just an incredible speedrunner, has absolutely been pushing down their time as much as possible. Going for a bit of safety here, right? I really like this play. They know they are heavily favored to win, right? Their PB is 4 minutes ahead of their opponent, as well as their just in general average race times, right? So like if Primorix takes like maybe 5-10 seconds of intentional time loss in order to get a bit of additional safety, they just need to close out like a sub 32, right? Unless Daroka pulls out like an absolutely incredible run, which we could see because they have been improving so fast.
Yeah, absolutely. Primorix definitely has the execution advantage here, so let's see if he can capitalize on those movements and close out the race. But I think we have much before the race starts, so I think we can go in a bit. All
right, and here we are on the main overlay. We're going to see Primorix on the left with Daroka on the right with that beautiful splash screen of Ori and the Blind Forest down below. And so now our runners are going to be getting underway. They're going to be heading over to the left in order to collect their friendly Wisp Spirit sign, and then they will be progressing over to Wall Jump Tree.
Yeah, absolutely. Because this is a Metroidvania, we don't get to see a lot of movement, but it's pretty misleading actually how intricate the movement in the first area, Sunken Glades, is, because there's just a lot of tiny micro optimizations that a lot of people don't even notice, and it's like you look at top players and you're like, wait, how do they save 20 seconds on my wall jump time? Yeah. And there you go.
Yeah, it's incredible, like everything down to the EXP management, like just getting past enemies without like taking them down, because oftentimes like killing enemies and the like can actually slow you down a lot more than you want. And especially because EXP management is going to be incredibly important, we're going to see how our runners end up tackling that and improvising when they may not get exactly what they want. But here we go, here comes the Frankie fight, so both runners are going to be tied, and this is going to be sort of the next minute for about of a pace, but Primorix, beautiful plink there, and same with Daroka, right, getting the 5 shots, and they are still pretty much tied. Just beautiful fight from both of them.
Absolutely, not a seam in that Frankie walk. Now we're heading on to Glades, I guess.
First area of the game. Comes like the flower pad, right? And so we're going to see what happens. Primorix grabbing 3 experience from that slime there is an interesting play. I wonder if that was intentional or they were trying to slip under it to try and go for that flower pad stack. But neither runner ended up getting a stack.
Yeah, and we see Daroka getting his health drop here. It's actually a decent spot to get it, because the worst place... Oh, he got another another HP drop from the slime. He loses 1 second if he catches it. Nice, he avoided it.
Nice. Yeah, well done from both of our runners. Really just making sure their health is as low as possible so they can take this intentional death and get through the door a little bit quicker. So Primorix on the left is going to be going for this 4th health cell. This is not their normal route, what they do for PB attempts, but this just gets Primorix such a great amount of safety for like overall like a couple of seconds or something like that for the entire route itself of time loss. So very nice play and beautiful fast cycle from Primorix.
Wow.
Daroka! Daroka takes 3!
No.
Okay, they get through. They get through. Wow. Nice save from Daroka. Like, seriously, they were one hit away from taking a death. So, very well played.
Yeah, and we see what we mentioned earlier with like how Glades can have a lot of invisible time save. Like they did the same things, and here they are. Like Primorix's, they were 3 seconds apart at Ghost Door. Should be a little bit more now. So like it's just crazy how far macro optimizations get you in that section.
Yeah, it truly is incredible. So well done for Primorix. It looks like that's going to be about a 317, which is like my gold for the split, and that definitely wasn't perfect for Primorix. So like just an absolutely incredible performance from them. And Daroka with a 326 on wall jump, very, very good for that, like getting a health drop and then also like having that spaghetti there and trying to get through those slimes.
Absolutely. So Primorix getting on the left his level up, that is good. Looks like Primorix doesn't go magnets. I don't think Daroka does either, which means they pretty much Daroka is in kind of a tight spot here because he leveled up on the way down, which means that you don't get all the XP from the Spore Wall. So that means he can be in a tight spot if he doesn't get the correct EXP RNG in Blackroot Burrows.
Okay, and we'll have to keep an eye out. Meanwhile, Primorix on the left is heading to the right in order to approach Blackroot Burrows itself, which is going to be the next zone where we have a skill location dash in it. It's going to be a little spooky. Picking up the 3 experience from the slime, very nicely done, not slowing down a beat. And if Primorix didn't want to grab that EXP from the slime, they could just end up running underneath the experience like we saw them attempt to do near the start of the run. But 26 away from a level up for Primorix is a pretty good amount, and indeed they are going for Quick Flame. We'll see how the experience works out for Daroka as well. On the right, they are 37 away, so that is a bit more experience that they have to end up collecting versus their opponent here.
Yeah, 37. Oh wait, what happened on Daroka's side? Did he not skip the cutscene?
Yeah, it looks like he ended up leveling up the ability a little bit too early. So that is actually a pretty big time loss. It's just over 20 seconds. So a bit of a gap that we're going to see between our runners. But an interesting sort of side effect from this is that the slow zone is actually not going to be there on the way out. So Daroka, if they are aware of this, they can just end up dashing through. If they end up opting, not having to do that return to neutral input in order to hit glides.
Absolutely. As we see Prim on the left going for the fast cycle, that looks a bit tight. Okay, he can... Oh, it doesn't go for it. That is very sensible. Doesn't need the 8-second time save. He has the execution advantage, as we mentioned earlier, so
yeah,
no point going for a cycle that might just kill you and lose you a bunch of time.
Yeah, I love this from Primorix. This is exactly what we saw him do in his previous matchup as well, where he just ends up just pausing, not worry about hitting like optimal cycles, but on the right grid,
don't go!
is going for this strat. All right, Luster is smiling somewhere. And,
oh no! Wait, he can still save it!
Oh no! Oh man. Okay, so optimally this saves like 2 seconds, right? So like,
Yeah.
oh boy. But taking that death, absolutely. So we're gonna see if Daroka goes for it again. No, they're gonna opt to walk with the orb. I think this is completely sensible. But that was great to see, Daroka. That put a smile on my face.
Doka, I love you.
Okay, nice safety save from Daroka on the right as they're heading up, while Primorix is doing a little bit of a longer save anywhere. Moving around with this ability menu allows us to save the game after we enter a cutscene. Saving the game, quitting out to menu and reloading allows us to either skip or enter a cutscene. So this first one here that we see on the left, Primorix quitting to menu allows us to enter and skip a portion of the cutscene, and then is going to be dropping down another save, one more quit to menu in order to be able to enter the cutscene at a later spot again. And oh no, it was just a little bit too far to the left. So they're going to look to try this again. Yes, good position there. And so they are going to allow themselves to stack a few cutscenes together, allowing them to move, doing some blind movement as they collect Dash Tree. And beautiful movement that was.
Oh no, Doka misses the cycle on the right. It was barely off. He like jumped and barely missed the platform. That's another 8 seconds.
Bob! Why? Okay, so there we go. Daroka is now on the platform, able to move through, not doing quite the same save anywhere that we saw from Primorix, while Primorix doing a nice job of luring the Frankie, bringing it down to 1 health. Can be a little spooky for this section, but no problem. They are able to lure the Frankie through, and now eyes on the left. This is going to be an important juncture for Primorix, where they need to get this first try, otherwise tying with Daroka. Nice. They do. Very nicely done. So now Primorix having to go through Death Gauntlet and is only on 2 health, but is able to skate through. Very, very well done.
Meanwhile, on the right, Daroka going for the easier cutscene stack. You only have to walk to the save and rekindle. It's not too bad. And let's see if he gets his blind movement as Primorix going for God Cycle.
Yeah, so nice blind movement from Daroka on the right, but eyes on the left. We're going to see if Primorix is able to get this. Very precise movement. No!
Slightly too early.
Yeah, just a little bit early on that jump, getting a vault over the ledge. They want to land on there so that they can actually dash and catch a cycle earlier. So just a small time loss, just about 8 seconds. So they're still very heavily commanding a lead here versus their opponent. But this gives a chance for Daroka to close some distance, right? If they are able to get God Cycle, that will close some time. But no, having some struggles with Frankie Walk. Oh, gets hit by the slam, checking their health very quickly.
Oh, no. Okay. Yep. He's good. Billy is not being too much of a pain. This should be fine. Oh no, he killed him! No! The extra scroll!
Oh yeah, it's so easy to do. So maybe just some nerves for Daroka here coming into this section. This is absolutely understandable. This is Ori and the Blind Forest, which is a very, very tight run. And speaking of tight movement, Ren, we see Primorix starting with that double jump split.
Absolutely. It may not look like it, but those walls are incredibly slippery. Their hitboxes are exactly what it looks like. So wall jumping is one of the most technical skills in the game. Speaking of wall jumping, actually, Primorix coming up to Grotto Skip. Let's see if he gets it. First try.
Beautiful.
And let's see if he goes for Baguette Jump. He doesn't, which means he is not a French runner. I could not believe that.
Yeah, so Baguette Jump, as a little bit of context, is just a really silly jump that saves like a number of frames. It's like half a second 20, or something like that. But very nicely done. Beautiful movement from Primorix, just nailing all of these tight little jumps, which are incredibly difficult. Daroka able to get through Death Gauntlet themselves. We'll see if they end up dropping the same safety save that we saw from Primorix after grabbing this energy cell, which increases the maximum amount of energy as well as fully refills it. Yes, they will. Great.
Okay, great.
Okay, but here's the God Cycle for Daroka on the right. If they're able to get this will save them 8 seconds. And so here they go, dashing a few times to the right, jumping up, and no, they were a little bit too far to the right, landing on that ledge, causing them to body themselves by that energy crystal. It is a very precise trick.
It's much, much tighter than it looks. A lot of things in Grotto are just way more precise than they look. It's just like you see the runners do it, and you try to do it, and you're like, wait, I'm doing the same thing. Why is it not working?
Right, yeah.
And speaking of God Cycles, Primorix on the left going for the Swamp one. Barely dashes past the spinner. That is completely normal. Let's see if he can get the Glide Cancel. Beautiful. Saves him 1.5 seconds right here with that God Cycle.
Yeah, really nicely done. And I love like going for this for Primorix, especially being on 4 HP. So if they had dashed into that Crusher and not canceled their dash in time, they still would have had 2 health. So they still could have done the damage boost through this line. But here we go. Going for a bit of very tricky menuing. We're going to see if they are able to get this entry. So they're going to quit to menu, reopen it to try again.
Oh,
They
that
are
worked.
able to
Wow.
get it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm very surprised that worked.
Yeah,
Meanwhile-
yeah. So the heart and soul, if please correct me if I'm wrong about this, of the trick is that you have to end up when you quit to menu, your next input has to be frame perfect in order to be able to end up getting that menu storage, right?
Yeah, I think it still works if you do it 2 frames apart, but either way, it's really stupid. Like you have to scroll really, and you have to really adjust your scrolling speed. Meanwhile, on the right, Daroka also going for game storage route. He seems to be having a little bit more trouble with the grotto walls, but that is to be expected. Those walls are very slippery. It's really impressive that Primorix managed to do it that well.
Yeah, very cool movement from Daroka here. Just almost entering that cutscene there, but that was a very nice save and quit. Like, watching that cutscene loses something like a second, funny enough. But that was very, very, very nice backup for Daroka to be able to barely miss that. And very nicely done for Primorix on the left. Able to
barely missed it. No!
Yeah, but they do get the 100 EXP, which is great.
Yeah, they got lucky with the spawns, thankfully, because if the shark had spawned to the right here, it would have been really bad to pick up that EXP with that magnet.
Yeah, indeed. So very nicely done, Daroka. Beautiful movement coming up these walls here over on the right, and is going to be, oh no, just accidentally dropping down, no problem. Able to just get back over to that right wall and continue their ascent. And so now getting the intentional level up, grabs the 30 experience from the frog, and they are going to be continuing up, grabbing an additional ability cell that we ended up seeing Primorix skip.
Yeah, so that will be. I expect to see a route difference as we get to Sorrow Pass because Primorix skipped that health cell, that ability cell, and that means he's going to be doing the Sea Juggle route. While Daroka, I've seen him practice Sea Juggle, but looks like that's going to be a Terror Break route because Terror Break route requires an additional ability cell. But we'll see once we get to Sorrow.
Okay, Primorix dropping a save, but accidentally gets shot by a Shooty Shark shot, and so they are going to be on 2 health. So they're going to have to alter how they end up going through Key Dupe. Yep, just grabbing the Rekindle there after successfully doing... Or no, did they miss Key Dupe? I just completely blanked my brain. Looks like they are going to have to go for the trick. They were a little bit too far away from the door. That is some nice spacing, though, for Primorix, and they are able to keep those keystones that time, taking the intentional damage on the wall to be able to climb up a little bit quicker, and is now going to be heading back through to collect some additional keystones, which is going to save them a huge chunk of time because they no longer have to do Swamp Swim. They no longer have to clean the water. So very nicely done for Primorix, recovering after missing that trick the first try. And now they are going to be taking down this mini-boss and then heading back to Grotto in order to make their way towards Thornfell Swamp as Daroka has entered Ginso.
Yeah, absolutely. Very sensible choice by Prim to double dash into that mini-boss so he makes sure to get all the experience, because when you do Sea Juggle route, the experience route is much, much tighter.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so Daroka going for the Mr. Asmus cycle. Very nicely done, and they are able to get the block down in time. Well played by them. That is a very, very nice cycle manipulation on their end. Meanwhile, on the left, Primorix, is he going to opt for blind movement, or are they going to end up watching this cutscene? They are going to watch the cutscene, which means the lasers will be on. This is a little bit slower, but it does make the movement in the upcoming area a little bit easier. And dropping that safety safe as they are now going to be attempting their tries at Swamp Entry. Beautiful fast bashes, getting the double bashes.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice. And here they have one more double bash after luring this frog shot over. Beautiful
Wow.
angle. Yep, they got it.
Yeah, that was textbook perfect swamp entry. Like it almost went really bad with like the bashes, but he managed to back it up. It was like amazing. Meanwhile, Daroka on the right got a right spawn on the last mini boss cycle, but still managed to pick up the EXP, so that is perfect. As Prim gets his own stomp ability.
Okay. I love this play from Daroka. They messed up their health management, so they couldn't get a really fast ghost door that we saw from Primorix. And so instead, they opted to just wait for the door to open. And this is actually like pretty much time parity as a backup method. So very, very heads up play by Daroka. It's not an easy decision to make, especially when you're in a tournament setting. And now with Bash, they are going to be ascending up through Ginso to join their friend Primorix over in the swamp area, as Primorix now has collected Stomp, and they are going to be moving around this frog that we have named Ringo.
Absolutely, you can hear the drum solo on the left as Primorix attempts to skip a cutscene that does not actually exist. The more I see it, the more I believe that this cutscene is actually a myth. Absolutely beautiful right here. He didn't have to watch any lore, saving himself 17 seconds with that trick, as Daroka is having a bit of trouble with key dupe. Oh no!
Okay, yeah, so they successfully did key dupe, but they just took a little bit of a death there, no problem. They're just going to have to end up going back in. Nice movement from them, but they do have to collect that keystone there in order to be able to progress on through, because we do need that 7 keystones exiting this area. And nicely done, takes an intentional death there, and is now going to be heading towards the Ginso mini-boss, and then they will end up heading to Grotto themselves. Oh, just a slight misstep, but nice cancellation, just slight miss angle on the bash shot there to be able to get up to this wall for an easier and a faster mini-boss fight.
Yeah, absolutely. That only lost him a couple seconds. It's not a big deal. Meanwhile, Primorix on the left gets the dash glide above the slow zone. Beautiful. That dash glide is much more annoying than it looks.
Yeah, indeed. And so coming over into Valley is going to bring us into the latter third of the run itself. A 18-minute is very, very nice pace for Primorix, so I'm sure they are going to be feeling pretty good about that. They actually have like a second split window open that goes through and times the segments beyond the race timer that we require from the runners. So it's interesting that Primorix is also going to be watching the splits. It actually helps them relax and just like compose themselves if they end up making mistakes.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see how all runners have their own kind of method to like keep their mental going, because mental really is the most important part about this, especially in a tourney setting. But I don't even know where to look, Muffin. Like, we have Prem on the left going for Fast on Plus, while Daroka is going for Swamp Entry.
Okay, here we go. So on the right, Swamp Entry is coming through for Daroka. They are able to get the frog over, and that shot from Primorix on the left looked good. So they are going to be working, but no! And they end up getting sad cell-less, which means that they missed picking up an ability cell that they wanted to pick up. The good news is there is a backup that no longer costs a minute to grab, right? So like Primorix, I imagine, is going to be going down. They are aware of this ability cell, I believe. So we'll see what Primorix does to be able to make up that deficit, but nicely done from Daroka on the right, nailing Swamp Entry, able to get through after a couple of attempts, and they are going to be heading up to Stomp Tree, opting for the right plank, which is a nice little bit of additional safety, and then that is going to allow them. But yes, Primorix on the left, going for that safety ability cell.
Absolutely, that loses him about 20 seconds, but I think he mentioned watching the restream at Feather cutscene, which means that right now, if I'm in Primorix shoes, I'm like, okay, I missed the fast on place, but it doesn't really matter. I'm still ahead, and let's see how I can do with nerves in late game. Speaking of late game, here we go, Sorrow Bash, beautiful setup.
Beautiful.
And that was perfect. That was textbook from Primorix right here.
Yeah, that is exactly what we love to see here. Primorix getting Sorrow Bash first try, especially after having a mistake like that, like getting Sad Cellus. And here we go on the left. This is C Juggle. This is an important trick. The frog's going really far to the left, Rin, but no, he's able to correct the angle.
He's good. He's good. He's good.
He's good. He's fine.
Okay, you got this.
All right, and Primorix able to get Sea Juggle. Very well done. They are going to be rocket jumping off this frog to build a bunch of height and speed, and coming over for this experience. Very nicely done. Dropping the save for another save anywhere, and they are going to be grabbing Sunstone, which is going to unlock us the very final dungeon in the game, which we will see practically nothing of. But wow, beautiful on the right.
Nice.
Daroka able to get up through Grove with a very, very nice stomp cancel there.
Yeah, that one was frame perfect. It's really funny to see. Not going for the double bashes, I must admit, I'm a little bit disappointed, but also happy because that is the most sensible choice. No one wants to actually go for the D-bash chain.
Yeah.
As Primorix on the left goes back down. This is the right divergence that we mentioned. Primorix goes to Sunstone first, then gets Charge on Tree later. We got word actually that Daroka will be doing Sea Juggle behind Save Anywhere, because why not? Like, might as well add in the extra difficulty.
Yeah, it saves like roughly 2 seconds, which isn't much, but it's like, it's such a, this is like, as from what I've seen of Daroka, this is absolutely their style of play. So there we go. Daroka now starting the Save Anywhere, and they are going to be carrying this for minutes. All right? Just so everybody's aware, Daroka is going to be playing all the way up through Valley, which is a very easy place to take a death, and then doing Sea Juggle that we saw from Primorix behind this menu. Like, wow. Just wow.
Also, there's the fact that you can take deaths, there's Sea Juggle, but there's also Fast Stompless, which has a 2-degree window for the angle that you can bash. Crazy Juggle, Sorrow Bash behind Save Anywhere. That is bordering on insanity. I love it.
Yeah, this is going to be incredible from Daroka. And so nice level up there in order to be able to just save the game. So if they take a death, they have a place to go back to. And Primorix having a little bit of trouble with that energy management, is able to get through. They actually nailed a frame perfect trick, which was a stair cancel that we saw from Daroka as well, and managing their energy well. They do go for the charge dash and the stomp. Very well done. So honestly, maybe not the late game that Primorix was hoping to start with, but they are just improvising and not giving their opponent an inch, right? An inch is a mile, as Rin was explaining earlier, in a tournament setting. And so very well done for Primorix, just staying steady, staying true, and making sure to just get a faster time than their opponent in order to progress in the bracket.
Yeah, absolutely. And Primorix is still on a pretty good pace right now. I don't remember exactly what the time was for Climb, but that looks like a 29 pace, I want to say. But yeah, either way, a really good pace. That is 2 minutes ahead of Daroka's PB, so that is what you want. You want to be faster, as you said, Muffin. You want to be faster than your opponent. You don't want to get a PB, right? That's not the point.
Right, exactly. And so here we go. We see Primorix moving through the second half of Misty. Nicely done, able to get some beautiful movement. Here's a rock jump through the meatball corridor. They are able to not taste that beautiful Italian meat. And so here we are going to be moving into the mini boss, which is another one that the game tells me is real, but I don't believe it. But yeah, just barely mistiming that first hit, so not getting the first cycle kill on the mini boss, but able to get through there without any major time loss.
Absolutely, Primorix nailing the legendary bang panic strats here for the mini boss. I love it. Meanwhile, Daroka on the right took a death to Sorrow Bash, which is understandable behind Save Anywhere had to pick up an extra ability cell. Let's see if he can get it this time. Okay, that looks good. Looks good. Oh, he's even going for the Cold Bash! What? So that is incredibly precise.
Yeah, Daroka... Oh, did he get Sad Cellus as well? I completely missed that. Oh no, Daroka.
Yeah. He has to pick up the cell every time he dies.
Oh, that's so brutal. Okay, so now Daroka also having a bit of trouble with Fast Stompless. I think they took damage from that frog there, so they are going to have to be careful going for another Sorrow Bash on the right. Both of our runners have ability menus up. I apologize, this is hard to see. And no, okay, so Daroka does not go for the extra double bash, but it's not over yet. Daroka still needs to go for Sea Juggle behind this ability menu, so we're going to see how they do. Opting to not do the safety save as well, Ren. Oh my goodness.
Oh, he does it here, right before C-Juggle. So he doesn't have to rocket jump again if he messes up C-Juggle. Oh, he hit the frog! That safety save comes in handy because he doesn't have to do Sorrow Bash again.
Yeah. So leveling up that ability, right? They don't need that ability point if they are doing C-Juggle, which we see from him here. So taking a death there, no problem. They are going through and they're so close to finishing out. Just one more bash on the front.
There we go! Let's go, Daroka.
Wow. What a legend. I'm so glad he stuck with us and got to show this off. Very impressive play. And like, meanwhile, Primorix just been like coasting through. Beautiful exit, Misty. Beautiful revisit to BRB. And now all that's left for Primorix is going through Horu Fields and then doing the final escape.
Absolutely, Primorix on a high 29 pace right here. He mentioned potentially going 6 HP depending on where his opponent is. Let's see. All right, he goes for it. Very sensible. You want to get that extra safety in case you mess up the swim or get hit by a rock in the face.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, here we go. Primorix going up, going for a grenade jump, able to get the glides and goes for the double jump method.
He got the terror shot.
Yup.
That was perfect.
Yeah, very well done. Daroka taking a bit of death on the way to C-Jump Tree, no problem, but eyes, honestly, just on the left. We have to see how many attempts this is going to take. Primorix is going to attempt to wrong warp to the end of the dungeon on a frame-perfect input, and they get it first try.
Perfect. We will see a worm skip now. Looks like it. Yep, that is worm skip. Primorix going to do the first 2 rooms and the escape completely blind, opting for the safety strat that re-enters so he doesn't have to do the trick if he dies. It's the beautiful first room, and he's through.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very nicely done. And so bashing up these lanterns, he's going to be heading over, going to be going onto the wall for a little bit of safety, going to charge jump through the wall, able to get past the elemental room, no problem. They just need to make sure they don't take a single damage from all of these red things, right? So that they can do this poison swim. And nicely done.
Did Daroka just do Wilhelm? I love you, Daroka. Alright. A final grenade jump on the left for Primorix. Position looks good. And Ori walked to the right. Perfect.
Yeah, so low 29 for Primorix. They were hoping to be able to get a 28 in this race, but a low 29 is still absolutely amazing, right? If Primorix hadn't gotten Sad Celis, this would have been a 28, right? So, like, very well played from Primorix, staying true to their goals and their mission, right? Mission accomplished for Primorix. They made it to the quarterfinals, the round of 8. And that's all they needed to do. They didn't need to get a really fast time. They didn't need to get a personal best. And here we just see an excellent performance for Primorix. GG.
Absolutely. Not doing narrow hops. I am slightly disappointed, but nevertheless gets a 29-20. That is beautiful. On the right, meanwhile, Daroka just got his climb ability. No grenade jumps here. This is not what's 20 seconds, but he is going to blast through the second half of Misty, beating up some enemies real quick. And I'm actually really surprised by Daroka's strat. Like, he's doing really aggressive strats. Like, he's doing all the optimal charge dashes and stuff, which, like honestly, props to him. Like, especially in a tourney race, having the confidence to play this aggressively is like, I don't know how he's able to do it. I have to play super safe in tournament settings.
Yeah, and I think, like, honestly, this is exactly why Daroka has just been absolutely catapulting ahead in their times in the leaderboard, right? We, like, finishing with a high 34 as their qualifier average, and now their PB is a sub 32, right? Like, this is absolutely the caliber of player that we expected to see as casters from Daroka, and it's just such a delight to see them continue to make strides forwards. Nicely done. Beautiful charge dashes, dropping a safety save there. They are going to be on 3 energy. Nice rocket jump. We're going to see if they do the rocket jump here, and they are able to get through Meatball Corridor and doing left wall strats, Rin.
Absolutely. I am very proud of my boy Daroka for doing left side strats. Alright, we will see a mini-boss. That looks like a
beautiful.
Kinda yes. Oh, what the hell? The XP just like went super far to the right. He had to go back to pick it up. I've never seen that happen, and I've done a lot of Misty, believe me.
Yeah, EXP drops can be really funny, and whoa, just barely dodging out of the way from that shot, able to get through, saving the 0.2 seconds of not having to bash off of that shot. And Daroka, beautiful exit Misty, right? They hit pretty much everything. They just took a death right after Climb Tree, and then from then on has been just absolute flawless play. This has been such a delight to just see Daroka pop off in this way as they, in their second half of Misty. Very well done.
Absolutely, that was textbook perfection after the first death. But oh, he's going for the course bash as well. Very nice, gets it. Goes for the lever glitch, and he does the long save anywhere. That saves about 2 seconds because that saves you 1 energy that you won't have to save again up top. But obviously, that makes the first half of lower BRB much harder. Let's see if he gets the laser cycle here. Beautiful.
Yep, nice C-dash off the bird, and now they are going to go for a dash glide over the cutscene. Not quite getting it first try, gets it second try. Beautiful safe position, and they are going to be making their way now over to Light Grenade Tree. And we're going to see just how many grenade jumps that we are going to end up seeing them want to bust out, Ren.
Absolutely. I sure hope I see a pre-charge for this grenade jump. Let's see.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
Not quite getting the timing input. It is a frame perfect trick. Each one of these is incredibly difficult, and oh no, just barely missing it and going it for a few times and then being like, hey, let's just continue to move on in the run, right? I love this decision making from Daroka.
Absolutely. In tournament settings, you need to have those sensible decisions, even though you have nerves, even though like tilt can happen, right? It's really easy to like make some stupid mistakes and get mad at them, but even then, you still have to make sure you get your focus back and like take the sensible choice, even if it means losing a few seconds. It doesn't really matter. Like you need to finish out your race.
All right, indeed, and here we go. Nice charge dashes off of the teleporter in order to get past that rock a little bit quicker. Going for a rocket jump here, nails the inputs, very nicely done, and now is going to be grabbing this energy crystal in order to get a bit of a refill, and not quite getting the C-dash chain that they maybe were necessarily hoping for through that section, but with an energy and a half, they are going to be setting up for this grenade jump here. Does not get the timing input, so they are going for it a second time. But no, they are able to get through, and so that was such a clutch save. That lava pit is instant death, and with the half energy, that's all you need for the grenade jump, and they are going for it again. Yes, there's one. Well done, Daroka.
Yeah, I wonder if he's gonna go for one skip, because with half an energy, you cannot charge dash, so the blind movement is gonna be really changed. I don't expect to see it, but you never know what the strats has been doing so far. Let's see if he gets door warp first.
Yeah, okay, so here's door warp. They need to enter the frame, they get control. They are able to do it. Well done.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll see here. Like, if they quit the menu, that is going to indicate warp skip, but no, they are going to watch the cutscene run, so this is going to, like, lose them, what, 10 seconds? But it's going to give them a full refill on energy.
Yeah, absolutely, and I believe I saw a glimpse of 6 HP, which means he can just not care about the fish cycle in the escape. Oh wait, no, 5 HP, my bad. So that means he cannot spam charge dashes, but he still gets through the first room beautifully.
Yeah. Going up the lanterns, nicely done. Next is the elemental room. Going for the fast method, breaking that wall without even touching the left. Very well done. That is a kind of a spooky strat, but it does save quite a bit of time, and here we go. Here's the fish cycles. They look good. That one was heading to the left, and yes, they are able to get through, only taking 4 damage.
Yeah, that looked pretty scary because if you wait too much, sometimes you can bonk on the last bash that you do, but looks like he didn't do it. Sets up position that might be a bit low. Never mind, he gets it very well down. He did, however, turn off the UI during the grenade jump, so we might get to see a fade to black as he goes to do his nair hops.
All right, so very well done from Daroka. Maybe not the time they were hoping to get, but just recovering from those mistakes and being able to close out the run. Coming within, what, like 4 minutes of their personal best? Very impressive play from them. All right, so here we go. So here are the last bit of movement. He's going to have to hold to the right for about 10 seconds. Are they going to do the Naru hops? Of course they are, Daroka.
Yes! I love you, Daroka.
Oh, boy. All right, so Daroka taking a loss here. This is going to mean their journey in the tournament is going to be over for them, but very well played still, and this was an absolute pleasure to watch. And so here we go. We actually do indeed have both of the runners here on deck to join us for an interview. Daroka, Primorix, GG's, my friends.
GG's.
Thanks, GG.
All right, so first question, I guess, over for Daroka. You've been really kind of a star in the community, in my eyes, coming through and like bringing in all of these strats, closing out qualifiers with a high 34 for your average, and now pushing a sub 32 with your personal best. What has been the focus for you to be able to improve at such a rapid rate as you've been playing all skills?
I've just been going for all the greedy strats, and I had super good coaches like OG, Lucy, Tachi. And yeah, but this strat didn't work out too great, man. Did it?
Yeah. That's all good.
Tachi being known for doing really interesting RTA viable strats, so I can see why you're going for aggressive strats if he's coaching you.
Speaking of strats, Primorix ending up accidentally just barely missing that fast stomp was, right, as you were ending up heading into the late game section.
Little more than barely, but yeah.
Yeah. It was close. I was actually surprised that Bash didn't go off on that lantern, but as a runner in a tournament setting, right, you set your goal for a really competitive time, right? Like a low 28 is what you're trying to push in these tournament settings. How do you end up sort of deciding on the route you're going to do, and how do you sort of overcome these mistakes in order to continue to push out these incredibly fast times? Is there just like a method to your madness, or is it just taking it one step at a time?
Yeah, so I mean, the main thing as far as route is, I'll have in my mind a few. So I started with kind of my route, the 4 HP, some of the late game safety saves that I feel like are just pretty standard, or maybe should be for a no reset setting. Add in like the 6 HP if I can tell I'm ahead enough to go for it. And really a lot of the some other developments came this week, actually, because I really just got motivated actually after some races with Rin to just push my consistency, as hard as I can go. Set, reasonable goals for every segment, and try to just treat every segment as this like independent thing, mentally, as much as I can. And then, there are some things like, enter Ginso, there's this Frankie damage boost strat towards the start. I was messing around and realized I can get, a perfectly fine time more consistently if I just don't go for it. So I just skip it for now.
Right,
that strat sucks.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Speaking of strats, I actually have a question for you, Daroka. What was going through your mind when you were doing this amazing BRB pulse floats? Like just like doing the pulse floats, then messing up and going like, all right, that's fine. I'll just do the normal strats. Like, what were you thinking back then? Because usually it's really hard to like get back into it when you mess up a strat once.
Yeah, I had like 37 EXP going into BRB, and I hate doing the pause float strat when I need 3 slimes EXP. I mean, I don't need, but it's more comfy. And so I tried to kill the slime on the way up, which I usually kill on the way down, and it sniped me. It just pulled me all the way down. I was like, okay, no, I'm not gonna do this again.
Yeah, that is very fair enough. Something else I wanted to ask about was the Frankie Walk death. I'm also thinking like, how do you gain focus back from this? Like, I was actually impressed at like how steady you were staying, despite like some little fails here and there, which like happen in a race, but it's still pretty infuriating to like misclick something on the scroll wheel and kill the Frankie. So like, how did you get back into focus after that?
I don't know, I was just trying like playing segment for segment, I guess. But I think it still affected me a lot especially seeing I missed both of my G jumps that I really like in this game, especially the one over hoverfields. Yeah, but I just tried to go segment for segment then.
All right, very nicely done. I guess one more question for you, Daroka. Taking a loss here means your journey in the tournament is indeed going to be over. But it's been such a pleasure to just watch you perform in these races. Going forward, do you have any plans for Ori? Are you going to continue to push your all skills time down, or are you going to be moving on to another speed project or other pursuit?
I think I'll take a break first. I've started playing this all skills after like mid-January, and I haven't done anything else till now.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna take
wow.
a week or so break and then try and push for sub 30, I guess.
Yo, let's go, dude. All right, I look forward to that. And I guess one more question for you, Primorix. Taking a win here today means that you are going to be moving on to the quarterfinals. And looking forward, right? Either Luster or Matter Monkey is going to indeed be your opponent. What is in your mind, and how are you going to prepare for that match in order to try and move on and progress to the semis?
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, I'm looking forward to watching that this evening to, most likely scout out Luster, but see what happens. And, I definitely, respect him as a runner. Clearly, a lot of the people who made predictions do too. And what I have to say to that is thanks for the predictions, but I don't plan on losing to Luster anytime soon.
Oh, let's go, dude. Let's go. Love to hear it.
So,
throwing down the gauntlet.
Yeah. had to get that out. But hopefully, yeah, I mean, as far as preparation, I think, early game is somewhere I really need to focus some attention and get more consistent. I think I need to just keep grinding like consistency as much as possible and be able to knock out, a 28 or maybe a low 29 if things go really badly like they did here, almost every time.
All right, yeah, no, totally reasonable. And it's just been such a pleasure to watch you perform, Primorix. That being said, GG, again, congratulations on moving to quarterfinals, and good luck with your next match.
Thank you, yeah, looking forward. I believe it's the best of 3 format after this. Looking forward to see how that affects things as well.
Yeah, indeed. All right, that being said, that is going to do it for us for this cast, but we're not done with Ori today. In just over 2 hours from now at 10 p.m. UTC, we are going to be featuring off that match, Matter Monkey versus Luster, to decide who is going to meet Primorix in the quarterfinals. And I'm very, very much looking forward to that as well. But that being said, we are going to be signing off here. My screen name is Covert Muffin. Joining me on comms was Ren. Lion, thank you so much for joining us and helping us with the stats as we were going through this race here today. And none other than Super Fluffy Koala, thank you so much for restreaming. With that being said, we'll see you in 2 hours, folks, for Luster versus Matter Monkey. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening and enjoy that match. See you then.